Hola chicos y feliz viernes. Hoy es viernes, el 1 de mayo de 2020. Y estamos en mayo, qué bueno. Y aquí estamos en el Hyperdoc Way. So, el objetivo es, puedo aprender la diferencia de los usos de ser y estar. So today, your job is to learn the difference between the uses of two verbs, ser and estar. And we've been using these already. You guys used ser to say, yo soy graciosa, yo soy simpático, yo soy divertido, interesante, and so on. And we've used the star to talk in two different chapters. We've used it to talk about where things are in the classroom. For example, mi libro está en el pupitre, or la bandera está a la izquierda. And you also use the star to talk about feelings, like estoy triste, estoy bien, estoy contento. So today we're going to talk about these two verbs because they both mean to be. And we're going to figure out when you should use ser versus a star because you can't always use them in the same situation. In fact, you can't ever use them in the same situation. You have to use them at for specific reasons. And we're going to learn that today. Okay, so take a second to get a piece of paper out because I'm going to do a PowerPoint with you guys today where you're going to learn the uses of ser and a star and take some notes. This will be important for you as you are working on your next homework page, which we'll do on Tuesday together. Since it's Friday, we'll just keep it a quick note-taking day. And then Tuesday, we'll pick up with practicing ser versus a star. Okay, get paper out. Once you have paper out, please divide it into half by either folding it or drawing a line down the center. And we're going to conjugate ser in the first column, and then we're also going to conjugate a star in the second column. And then we'll take our notes. Okay, here we go. Ser versus a star. It's some people have called it complicated over the years. I know you guys can do it. It's pretty simple. So ser and a star both mean to be, and that is why we're having this PowerPoint today and these notes. By the way, if you're watching this from Flipgrid like you should be, if you click on the YouTube link in the video, it'll take you to a bigger screen. That's what I would do every day, is I would go to the bigger screen. But they're used in different ways, and so we're going to take notes on that so we can figure out how to use to be correctly. So, under your ser column, you're going to write physical description for number one. So we can talk about what somebody is like physically. We can say they're tall, they're short, they're beautiful, with ser. So, for example, ella es rubia. Write down this example to yourself. You can switch it up if you want to. You can write ella es morena, ella es whatever. Ella tiene pelo negro. Ella es pelirrojo. So for a physical description, you need some kind of an example in your notes. Okay, next. For personality traits, this is how we all first learned to use ser at the beginning of the semester, last semester. You guys learned a bunch of personality traits like inteligente, ordenado, and so on. Let's give an example. Él es cómico. That means he is funny. Nationality. So to say where people are from. Ana es mexicana. You could say Ana es de Mexico. So whenever we talk about where somebody or something is from, even if it's like these shoes are from they're from Foot Locker, you'd say los zapatos son de Foot Locker instead of saying están. We could use it for gender. So what something is, whether it's a boy or a girl, just identifying what something is. Use es instead of está. Like I could say, esto es mi hijo. This is my son. I'm identifying him. Esto es su juguete. this is his toy, and so on. So, identifying. You can use it for giving the date. So, hoy es, never hoy está. Hoy es. Dates and time, bunch all of those things together. ¿Qué hora es? You would never say ¿qué hora está? So, when you're wanting to use the verb to be for telling time, dates, identifying things, personality, physical descriptions, always use ser. What things are made out of? La mesa es de madera. Possessions. El libro es de señora. Okay, so next, we're going to use a star. Make sure you pause the video on the slides if you're not getting the notes. I don't want to waste your time, but I also don't want to have you not be able to stop and write. Okay, a star. This one's a lot simpler, you guys. We're going to go through these ones quick. So for how you feel and where you are, you always use the verb estar. So for example, how's this baby feeling? Crew, look at the baby. See him? Triste. So you would always say, el bebé está triste. You would never say, es triste. Because triste is a feeling. And physical conditions, están cansados. We could also just call those feelings. Los hombres están cansados. If they're not always going to be tired, you can probably use a star instead of ser for it. You know, if they're not always going to be something, if it's a condition. Civil status. You don't have to write this one down, but to say somebody is married, it's a status, it would be está casada. Está muerto, to be dead, another civil status. And probably the other most important one is location. So, people, places, addresses, things, but not events. So you would say estamos in Springfield, or estamos in Denver, Colorado. We'll save this one for Spanish too, but present progressive to say what people are doing. Las chicas están estudiando. Okay, so just to review, use a star very specifically for feelings and for locations. If you can remember to use it for saying when people are married or when they've passed away, when they're dead, you can use it then. If you can remember it for people are doing something, you'll be ready for Spanish 2 next year for present progressive forms. Okay, so get down the different uses of ser versus a star so that you are ready to review and start using those on Tuesday. Okay, today you're going to order dessert, postre, un postre. Or you can say a common dessert that you love and just put it into Spanish, or you can pick a Spanish dessert and say that. Ask me as your waitress to bring you, me trae, and then un or una, a or the masculine or feminine form. You could say un helado, you could say un tiramisu. Oh, I love that dessert. You could say un pastel. So tell me what you want me to bring you. Me trae usted un or una, and then a dessert. Okay? Have a great weekend, you guys. You did a good job this week. Remember that GimKit is still available to get extra credit all week, and I will see you guys on Tuesday. Adios.